Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. I am Marcus, and as you can see, I'm still working through my loot from this year's Essen. And today I'm doing or demoing the solo mode of Starship Captains. Obviously, as you can see, I'm using the German version of the game, Deutsche Ausgabe. For the most part, the game is relatively language independent. Yes, there is some text on some of the cards, but as usual, I will try to translate on the fly as much as I can. The solo mode is relatively close to a two-player game in respect to the setup. So we're using the 1 to 3-player side of the game. But yes, there's a different side for 4-player game. We are using a somewhat different technology bar up here, but again, not really the end of the world. We are pretty much reducing the amount of these Omega technologies by 1. There is now a space for those AI cards, and on top of this we are randomly drawing one of those passengers. In this case it's TK404. Whoever dealt with web servers might know what the reference here is. And this gives you some kind of a scoring opportunity. In this case, yeah, I will lose points if I don't complete my technology bonuses. I will come to that in a little bit, but they all come with a special power, like this passenger one here, so I can basically repair one of my technology spaces. So this can be huge. And on top of this, they also tell me which technologies will be available for me to pretty much acquire on this tin can faction board here, which is something where you can score some points, and you will also be able to unlock the technologies here. Again, I will have to bring those technology out. I think these are 2 times the Omega mega computer, and we have the engineer workshop. So here they are, and as soon as I unlock the, let's say, event up here, I will be allowed to pick one of those. They are basically twice the same, the Omega mega computer, but they come with different, let's say, bonuses in respect to where those bonuses are. So this might become important towards the end of the game. This engineer workshop down here is a pretty cool one because, yeah, it gives you pretty much a technology space where you can get new technologies out, but they also allow you to renew technologies, which might be incredibly important. And again, we might lose some points, basically 1 point for each technology connection we were not able to complete here. So these are some bonus spaces, and you basically want to, how can I show this to you, like this one here, for example. So if I would put something like here, this would already be a legal connection in this case. So for this instance, I would gain a bonus and I would not lose the point from my passenger. But again, these passengers are only used in the solo mode, and I think there are 5 more in there. There is a very basic one which doesn't give you any specific bonuses or penalties or whatnot, but I thought this would be a little bit boring. With that being said, I have never played the solo mode before. I did play the multiplayer game quite a bit, but only at 3 players, so never at a 4-player game. But I'm at least somewhat optimistic that I know at least the rules. I'm still far from being an expert player, and there are really a ton of things that you have to think through in order to really optimize your action. This is really an action economic kind of game, getting some cool combos out so that you can, again, use your ensigns or your starship crew as efficiently as possible. As for the AI player, who is being called Captain Shadow, I believe, it's the orange reddish player here, and they are not really playing against me. Yes, they will take away some of the pirates, they will take away some of the technologies, but they will not score any points whatsoever. We are both fighting on the same side. It's just there to randomize stuff a little bit and also deal with the technology market every now and then. So to some extent simulating another player's decisions, but not really playing against me. And yeah, ultimately I will tally up my score and then compare it to this epilogue here, the table. And this is really a lot of entries. Normally I really don't like playing games like beat your own score, but as there are really so many things to uncover here, I think this might be actually quite fun. And when I look at some of those, I have no clue how you should make it to 75 points, quite honestly. I think I was never close, maybe around 40-ish or so far. So I don't expect to be much better playing this solo, but then again, there are not so many other players who are messing with maybe the missions that you are going for and whatnot. So maybe there is a chance getting some extra points, yeah, basically from being alone. But I believe we should be able to start the game right now. So when we're looking at our ship, we have basically two areas on our ship. So we have this, let's call it ready room here, where you're ready. Cadets, commanders, and androids, and ensigns are. Then we have basically a waiting queue up here. So these are all inactive. They will kind of come back at the end of every round, but I will come to that in more detail a little bit later. So everything that is here we can currently use. On top of that, we have our storage units here, and right now 3 of our storage units are damaged, and each damage marker will cost us 1 victory point at the end of the game. And it also, yes, we cannot use this storage unit here, obviously. And then we have our technology board down there, which also comes with 4 damages right from the get-go, and this is where we have to place our technology cards, and this is where we are also making our tech bonuses. Again, for TK404, that's something that we have to keep in mind. What you can do is during your turn is either using a room, and right now we start the game with only those 4 basic rooms. So we have movement, we have combat stations, we have research, and we have our repairs, which we can do later throughout the game. We might be able to get additional rooms from the tech board up here. Right now there is only one technology that offers additional rooms. So these colored ones, this is a red room, the captain's chair, which is okay, but not sure if this is something that we want to go for right at the start of the game. It could be really cool and beneficial, but maybe there are other things out there. But that's basically one thing that you can do: activate a room, then you can complete a mission. Obviously you have to be there to complete a mission. I think this con visit here is, I think this was the promo card I was giving when I got the game from this year's Essen. And yeah, it pretty much needs 3 crew members to complete that. Then you will hopefully get some of the rewards here, but you will definitely score the points here at the end of the game. So this card is worth 6 points towards the end of the game, which is really not bad. The last thing that you can do during your turn is to pass. When you pass, you are out for the round, so definitely don't pass too soon. Like in any normal game, anyone that hasn't passed will still will be able to take their turns. The same is true for the AI player Captain Shadow, right? Was it? And that's definitely not what we are going to do. And as we have also not yet reached one of the mission spaces, I think the only thing to do is to activate a room. We have a red, a yellow, a blue, and a gray room. In order to activate a red room, we need a red ensign or a red commander. Right now we haven't promoted anyone to commander. This is where these rings are coming from here. I would have really loved if they would have made little dots on this. I think commander in TNG has 3 dots on it, so maybe I will do that at some point in time. But they're basically only, let's call it 3 ranks. We have a cadet, we have an ensign, and then we have a commander. So, and we as the player, we are basically the captain. So we are doing the promotions. And yeah, this whole game has very, very strong references to a very, very popular sci-fi franchise, obviously. Okay, but yeah, again, in order to activate a red room, we need a red, let's call it miniature here. Same is true for yellow, blue, and so on. For the gray one, we can of course send the gray one, the cadet, they can repair our ship, but for a gray room, we can basically send everyone. So even the blue one can go to the gray space here recording, but sometimes that might be a little wasteful, but sometimes it's really the only thing that you can do. And then it's still worth it to repair your ship, because again, every damage marker you have at the end of the game is a -1 victory point. So the very first thing that you usually do in a game of Starship Captains is either to acquire a technology, because there's really something out which you desperately want to grab. And in this case, I might really consider that, quite honestly, because there are some nice techs out there. Or you are moving. Repairing is usually not your best thing to do, unless again there is a technology where you want to make sure you can use it properly, because you cannot place a technology on a space which is damaged. I mean, that's clear, right? So, but in this case, I think, yeah, guessing the technology might be good. The problem is the technology I'm interested in, the Neon Observer here, would give me basically 1 faction bump on the pirate faction board for every yellow mission I am going to complete. And there is a nice synergy with these yellow ones for this operation protocol also, which would give me 1 victory point at the end of the game. That's one of those Omega technologies. They're all endgame scoring technologies. And they would give me 1 extra point for each yellow mission I have completed. So that's really a nice synergy. But again, the problem with this technology here is I believe I'm not able to make that connection here. So it's kind of wasted, but maybe also not necessarily the end of the world. But in this case, I do think it's not our first. The problem is, yeah, the first card that the AI is playing could take this away from us. But then again, it's also not the end of the world. No, I think we are moving. So we are using our, I don't know, what is it? Operations, I don't know what the department is, putting it here, and this gives us pretty much 2 movement points. And I think we are going to move to this planet here with this almighty being, which is our mission there, because it comes with a yellow one. So this is considered to be a yellow mission because it had 1 yellow task on it. And again, with this operations protocol, this could be an extra victory point at the end of the game. So I think that this might be a good thing to go for. On the other hand, if we would go this way, we would also get a yellow mission out. And we would gain potentially, oh wow, this could be cool. We could gain 4 bumps on the Tin Can Federation track. So this would unlock our technology much sooner. So I guess that's the better deal. So yeah, we are moving basically only 1 space. So we are forfeiting 1 of our movement points here. But again, not the end of the world. We are moving our ensign that we have used for this action at the end of this queue here. And that's kind of the end of our turn. We could still use our medal here to promote 1 of our cadets here, for example. So we could exchange this to be, I don't know, maybe another yellow ensign, for example. We can also recolor or rebadge some of the other officers. So if I don't need a second one here, I could send them out and whatever, transform them into a red one, for example. But I think right now, let's not rush things. It's basically the end of our turn, so we are moving over to Captain Shadow. We are drawing our first AI card here. We are placing it here. And in this case, this means they are moving 1 towards a mission and they will pretty much claim that mission. So we get to choose in this case if Captain Shadow is moving to this honest trade here or the routine inspection. They're both 1 step away. If there wouldn't have been any missions in 1 space away, I think they wouldn't move. But I think right now he can do that. And I think he's also ignoring all those pirate tokens out there, which I haven't explained yet, but I will come to that rather sooner than later. Normally, again, when a player would move over a pirate token, they would take 1 damage. Easy as that. So in this case, do we want to get rid of this one or that one? If we're getting rid of this one, we will get a new mission up here because that's the highest countdown token, and this countdown token would then move to the mission that has been claimed, and then a new mission would come out here. And we are just 1 space away from this one. So I guess, no, it doesn't matter, right, if it goes left or right. I mean, this will be the mission anyway, right? Yeah, but then we could leave it here, but then we have this mission as well. No, I think I talked myself into that. Captain Shadow will move to this planet. They will automatically complete this mission, so we will not be able to claim this, but it's simply out of the game. Doesn't really matter too much. And then, as I already explained, the highest revealed countdown marker moves down to this space here. We are flipping it down, and what this countdown marker does is basically we are spawning new pirates once all of those are gone. They're going down to 1, and then they will flip back, but we will bring out more pirates. But this also means we are filling this spot up here with a new mission which says save a planet. Wow, three crew we need there, but that's 7 points. Those missions range from 2 to 7 as far as I can tell, so 7 is really huge. But of course you're also spending 3 crew members and or androids, so that's really a very, very tasty one. But I'm afraid we will not be able to get it anytime soon. Yeah, but okay, that's pretty much the end of his turn. Back to us, and I think we are now at a planet with a mission. So I guess we are going for the second option here. Do we want to shoot down this pirate first? No, I don't think so. I guess we are doing some trading with emotion chips. Where did I hear that before? So let's grab this mission. Let's put it next to our transporter room, and that's really so nicely and thematically done. So, in order to complete this mission, we basically need 2 crew members. The color doesn't matter per se for the victory points here, but in order to unlock those bonuses here, we have to send the right colored resource, or crew members in this case. If we would have an android, the android is pretty much a wildcard for those missions, but the android will never be able to interfere with your ship. So we cannot use an android for our normal rooms here, for example. So in this case, I guess we are definitely do send our, I think this is a security officer, or security ensign in this case. And down here we could send a blue or a cadet. The one thing that we can do, if we really want this bonus here, we could now use our medal to, yeah, pretty much promote this cadet to be a, I think it's operations, right? I think it's an operations resource. I think let's do that. So we are spending our medal. We are replacing this cadet into, what did we say, a red one, right? Yeah, we have changed the gender now as well, and there are really multiple scalps here, and each game comes with a different mixture of things as far as I can tell. But yeah, for us it's simply a new color here, so don't hold it against me. So we have completed this mission, so we will score those 4 points. Hooray. And then from top down to bottom, we are now also getting those rewards. In this case, we are simply getting 2 steps on the tin can faction board, 1 and 2. And I think we are already scoring 1 point for this. One more step and we will unlock this bonus here, which would give us the medal right back. And I think that's what we are going to do next. As we still have a matching officer here, we could now either spend 1 medal. We don't have the medal, so this option falls short. We could exchange 1 medal for an android, which is pretty huge. Definitely I would have gone for that, but in this case we are simply progressing 2 more steps, 1 and 2. Now we will score 2 points at the end of the game because we have crossed this one. We are getting our medal right back. The next space would give us an artifact. Artifacts are pretty nice because they can transform into an artificial intelligence, which we can use later on. So that's also pretty huge. Nice. So let's park the medal here and we can have an unlimited amount of medals. We will normally we are flipping it face down. In this case I will leave it here, so I have at least some idea of how many points we are scoring, and then everyone else will simply queue up here in the rating area for the next round to come. But that's already the end of our action. Again, I could use now this one to recolor this officer or ensign into whatever different color, but again, let's wait how things are changing. But of course we have also completed the mission, which means the next highest countdown marker moves up here. We are revealing a new mission down here, and here we have Plasma Beard's treasure, I guess. Wow, this comes with a lot of cool stuff. 3 artifacts. We will spawn a pirate. That can be good or bad. Here we get a free shot, and we can exchange 1 artifact into 3 steps on the pirate faction board. Wow, that's really a nice mission, but only comes with 3 victory points, so there's also a downside to that. But nice, and I really do love the artwork, the thematic style on these cards. Really nicely done. Definitely great to look at. Okay, let's reveal the next AI card. We are placing it here. So now Captain Shadow will shoot an adjacent pirate, and in this case it's simply this pirate here, which is gone, pretty much out of the game. Could come back later on, but there's really a ton of pirate tokens in here, so we may not see this one ever again in this playthrough. But that's again already the end of Captain Shadow's turn. Back to us. Unfortunately, the situation hasn't changed. So what are we going to do next? I think, yeah, we will definitely go for a technology, right? So we're using our science officer, our ensign here, and we'll go for one of those technologies. We can get any of those technologies, even those Omega ones. Of course, the Omega ones are cool. The sooner you commit to them, the sooner you know what you are going for, but they don't necessarily have a lot of things. These blueprints here, though, they're also quite handy because I could use those, so they would give me a bonus, honestly. And I would score 1 point for each complete tech bonus. So this would really work very nicely together with the penalty from TK404. That's now a thing. I think that's what we are going with, right? But again, the blueprints don't give us anything. That's really... No, let's stay on target. We will go for the universal translator here, because I think the navigation system is nice, but I think we are not going to specializing anymore to red cadets. We already have 3 of those, the red shirts, and we all know what happens to red shirts in the episode of TNG. No, we will go for the universal translator, which I think is a babblefish. Also a very nice reference. We are placing it here. We can cover those, that's totally fine, but now we have made a connection, even with the pre-printed one. This counts as an, let's say, a legal connection. And now we get to choose if we want to remove one from down here or up here. We do know for a fact that TK404, our passenger, will allow us to repair those technologies down there. And I believe this thing will come up 4 times throughout the game. So this will be entirely enough to repair all of those. So I guess in this case we will repair one of our cargo holds here. This will give us more room to store stuff. It's basically a victory point we are not losing at the end of the game. And I guess that's the best we can do with that. So that's pretty nice. The science officer also goes back to the back of the row. We will immediately refill the space. That's a security suit. Okay, that's nice. So we can promote a yellow commander with 1 medal less. So in order to get a ring out on those ensigns here, we normally have to spend 3 medals. With this security suit, we can save 1 of those. So that can be pretty huge, especially early game. And sometimes there are Omega technologies which give you extra victory points for yellow commanders or yellow ensigns, for example. This would also work very nicely together. And yeah, it comes with the tech. So if this is the right tech combination we need in order not to suffer penalties from TK404, we might still go for it, right? So this is where I guess the game changes each time you play it depending on which passenger you are using. That's, I guess, already a good thing in my book. But okay, then let's do his action here. What this says, basically, he's jumping to my position, basically down here, and then he is pretty much completing a technology, and Captain Shadow will always go for the technology that's next to this specific card in this case. So this technology is out of the game for good, but we are still revealing a new one. That's an explosion phaser, which is similar to the one we have just gotten rid of, the navigation system, but in this case, oh, that's also a nice combination, those two together. Oh, that's really nice, actually, because here we could gain a free yellow ensign for free, and then we can promote the yellow one later on, or in the same action, maybe for 2 less. So for 2, we could go from a cadet to a yellow commander. So that's really not bad, but of course we need both technologies for that to work. But okay, I will pass, which means they will take their last turn of the game. And in this case, we already know what was coming. This is the passenger ability. And in this case, the passenger ability says I can repair 1 technology space. Here it's really very specific in respect to those technology spaces, never my cargo holds. And I think in this case, as I still might go for the Neon Observer, at least potentially, I want this one here repaired. For freebie, that's basically where we saved 1 victory point or 1 penalty of a victory point pretty much for free. So that's kind of balancing out the penalty we gain from this one here from uncompleted tech bonuses. But that's the end of the game. Again, I have passed. Next, Captain Shadow will pass as well. And we are adding 1 more AI cards. I think this is unique. So there are 7 cards in total, and all of these 3, I believe, are duplicates. And they will also take more actions each and every round, that is. But before we do that, let's deal with everything else. So we are getting this medal here, and we are placing the Starbase specialty, let's say special ability token here according. So when we go there, we get a bump on each of those faction tracks, which is nice and highly challenged by other players in a multiplayer game. Again, here in solo, I don't think he's taking this away from me, quite honestly. Then we will move our staff down. Again, we will always keep 3 of those in the waiting area up here, but for the next round we still have 4 more to go, and they have all colors, and we have 2 movements potentially, which might be really beneficial, quite honestly. And then yeah, I guess I will have to prepare the AI deck, and then yeah, we will simply move into the second round of the game. So now I could end the round pretty much right here and there, because if I would now move to this mission up here, I would spend one of my red ensigns, and then for the mission to work I would have to send basically the remainder of my 3 crew up here. Again, I would gain another bump here, I would gain another medal, so I could use it to promote another command. I would gain an android, which would be really important for the next round to come, and it's 7 points, but that's really already the end of the round. I will not make any more actions this entire round, and I don't really know if that's the best I can do. I would really love to start hunting down some pirates like this one down here. But there are basically 2 kinds of pirates. So one is giving you exactly this reward, so 1 artifact or relic or artifact and a medal, and you will always get damage when you fight them. And there is another type, which I believe is not even out here, though it is up there actually, which would give you simply an android. Again, getting androids, it's almost like getting an extra crew member, at least only for missions, but could be crucially important for, let's say, the bigger missions up there, not to end your round too early, that is. So yeah, what are we going to do next? Down here we have an okay mission, which would give us 2 bumps on purple, which is a victory point, but yeah, not really great. But we have the universal translator. Now maybe I should have explained to you what it actually does, because we can transform any faction bumps into wild faction bumps. So I guess this might be it. I guess this might be really it. We would spawn another pirate. This pirate could give us the android we maybe need. So yeah, I think let's do that. So we are spending 1 red officer to move 2 spaces 1 and 2 down here. Of course we could have moved over here, but this would have simply given us 1 damage. It would be rather stupid. And by the way, the first player to get to a planet with a mission is kind of reserving that mission. So no one can whatever move in there and take it away from me unless I'm moving out. You can do that however you want to do that. We typically in the multiplayer game do place our ship on that mission card to really show, hey, that's our mission, but usually that's not really a problem. But that was already the action for our turn. We are not using any of our medals just yet. So let's see what Captain Shadow is doing. And okay, he's moving 1 space and is completing a mission. Can he do that? Yes, he can, in fact. And I think I don't fancy that mission here too much. I will really hope to get this mission completed at the end of the game, or until the end of the game, because it's really 7 points and it's this faction bump and whatnot. So I think he will move 1 space in here. So he will complete the routine inspection. This sounds kind of boring anyway. We are moving the next countdown marker over here. We are revealing our next mission down here. That's experimental research, I guess. Oh, that's 1. That's really cool. Those missions which only require 1 crew member, those are great. And it's still 3 points. So that's pretty efficient. That's pretty efficient. Of course, it would be much nicer if this would be a yellow one, for example. Then we could also go for the operations protocol, which we haven't claimed yet, of course. But still, I take that. Nice, nice, nice. But okay, then back to us. We will complete this mission here. So again, we are placing it next to our transporter here. We will send a yellow one. We will send a red one. So I think this goes together pretty well. Unless I want to research first. I'm now thinking about that. I am now really thinking about that. No, I think not actually. No, let's not do that just yet. That's fine. Let's not do that just yet. We will stick to the plan here. So we will get 2 faction bumps on the purple one. I don't really know what those are, quite honestly, but let's simply do that. But of course, I'm using my universal translator to translate those into 1, 2 faction bumps here. So which means I get an artifact. 1 artifact doesn't do us anything just yet. But anyway, let's draw 1 randomly. Come on. And we are placing it into our storage hole. They always come in 2 colors, so this one is blue and yellow. And when we get a second one that's either blue or yellow, we can change or exchange both of them in for an action of the same type. So this is an artificial intelligence. If I get another blue one here, for example, I can use it as a blue, let's say, officer in order to activate one of my rooms in my ship. Unlike the androids, or basically opposite to the androids, I cannot use the artificial intelligence on missions, but still can really help you to give you some more extra actions throughout the game. Now that was cool, but we are not done yet, as we still have to spawn another pirate next to our current position. That's not optional, by the way. And all of those planets have a red, a green, and a yellow route right next to them. So we are drawing one of those pirates randomly, and we are flipping it over. And then, yeah, of course, this route is already taken. It would have been an android, which would have been so nice. I would have loved to gain that android, but because this route is already taken, we are simply discarding this pirate token. Now, that was clearly a bummer, and something that also happened during my last game, quite honestly. I really hate that. And then we can either gain 3 faction bumps on the pirate track, or we can go for a shooting action. And I think in this case we will go for a shooting action instead. Yeah, let's totally do that. So we're going for this bonus here, which will still allow us to get rid of this pirate here. So again, we are taking 1 point of damage. So let's take this marker and place it into this cargo hold here, because pirate tokens are also worth 1 victory point at the end of the game, if we still carry it, that is. And each damage we are getting from that pirate token always have to go to our cargo holds, never again to our technology spaces here. So we are bringing this one here back. We are getting 1 medal. I think that's the real important piece, and I think I haven't even taken the extra medals out. So we now have 3 medals, which we can use to promote one of our ensigns to a commander. That's nice, but we are also getting 1 extra artifact here, and in this case, it's a yellow and a red. So we can now exchange both of those for a yellow room action. We could shoot again, for example. Can be nice, but let's see about that. Maybe not this round. Then we are flipping this pirate basically face down again. We are getting rid of the mission here. So we already scored 7 points from mission, not an awful lot. And of course, we are moving our crew into the waiting area. The countdown marker moves down to our position. We are revealing a new mission, and that's a junkyard, it seems, worth 3 points, but 2 repairs, and we can basically exchange our pirate token, if we have one, to gain 1 repair and 2 bumps on the pirate track. Yeah, that can be nice, but yeah, let's see about that. Oh, cool, I like that. Over to Captain Shadow. He is again moving to our space, and then they will claim the wormhole generator technology here, which again could be a good thing. Let's see what new cards comes out, and this is the Fleet Communicator. After we have promoted anyone, we can gain 1 purple faction bump. Again, with our universal translator, this could be anyone, so that's really nice. That's really nice. Then it's back to us, and I guess we are grabbing ourselves. We already have 2 yellow, right? So I guess the operations protocol would be quite handy. The problem is we cannot use it at this point in time, so maybe there is something better to do. So we are definitely going for another technology, that much is clear. We could of course promote the ensign first to commander, because then we would, oh, that's now an interesting one, because we could gain double the, I think that's what we are going to do, absolutely. So we are spending 3 of our medals. Yeah, let's totally do that. And we are promoting this ensign to a commander. That's now our first science commander we have. Awesome. So we are using that commander for his first action, and they're basically getting now 2 actions. That's the main thing why you are promoting someone to a commander. So the first action is the standard ensign action. So we are activating this room here. And I believe we are going with, let me see, we are going with this one here. Yes, we are going with the blueprints and placing it in here. So we have made the connection, and we have covered this one here, which could be a nice bonus, but also we are not losing any points from TK404. Nice. And then we are also repairing, because we have made that connection here. So that's already working out okay. Then we will refill that technology, and unfortunately we are not refilling a Omega technology with another Omega technology card here. So that's really, once they're gone, they're typically gone. I think there are 2 cards, 1 mission and 1 technology in the whole game, so 2 possibilities, which allows you to draw some extra cards from the pile, but that's really relatively rare. But see, that's another beta technology, and those are quantum torpedoes, which you can use as a room, and when you're using that room you can make 2 attacks. with one action basically, and it's not a yellow one, so now you're using your red dudes in order to, again, to do attacks, and we can ignore 1 damage. So that can be rather nice if you are in a position where you have 2 pirates which you can fight with 1 action. And I had this quantum torpedo the last time or the time before and weren't really able to use it quite efficiently. That was really kind of a bummer. But then again, we have a commander here. So we can now either use the commander for another blue action. So we can pretty much go for another blue room, or we can order a whatever, either a cadet or another blue ensign in the waiting area to move down here. And in this case, I believe it doesn't really matter if we're using this twice or sending someone here, because we will use that blue guy anyway. So I guess let's totally use the second action, pretty much going for another technology here. And in this case, we will go for the Nyan Observer this time. Yes, because we can complete another link here, a technology bonus. This gives us, or prevents us from getting a -1 victory point, but gives us an extra points for the blueprint. So I think this worked out pretty well actually, and this gives us 1 bump for each yellow mission we are going to complete. So that's really not bad. I totally like that a lot. And because we have unlocked this bonus here, we are allowed to get a free movement. And yeah, unfortunately neither of those are yellow ones. And I guess, but this is the cooler one, because really getting extra stuff, it could spawn a pirate which would then allow us to defeat that pirate. So I think I quite like that. Unless we are moving here, then we could still take our action to take down that pirate here for another medal, but not sure if that's the best we can do right now. Oh, that's a tricky one. That's really a tricky one. So no, I guess we want to move towards the android maybe, but this would also bring us so far away from the mission up there for the 7-pointer. Yeah, but getting 3 of those, but will we be able to get those things out soon enough? That's the problem. We don't really have a lot of space on our ship right now. I mean, these would be 3 plus maybe another 4, and if we would have a pirate next here, I think I would go there. But no, I think in this case we will move here to the junkyard instead for our freebie movement. Again, this was our tech bonus pretty much. And then we could still take our AI action to maybe defeat this pirate here. Let's think about that. First of all, we will reveal a new... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wait, we have to bring out a new one. That's turbo lasers. Oh, that's a nice one. A yellow one we can get, and we can ignore the damage. Wow, that's an amazing room. Where have you been before? But I think we cannot really use it quite well, but it's still very, very cool tech. But anyway, he will come to our space. I mean, we already have claimed that mission in case we want to complete it. And then he's taking the explosion phaser here. Now we know which card we have shuffled in, by the way. So it was this one here. Let's bring out a new one. That's the artifacts storage unit or so. We can use those artifacts as medals. Oh, that's very versatile. I like that. I really do like that. Question is, do we want to pass or not? We don't have any more cadets, officers, or commanders or ensigns in our ready room, but we still have those 2 yellow ones, which we could transform into an AI operation, which would allow us to defeat 1 android. And I think we are going to do that. So we are using both of those right now. So I think they're not directly getting shuffled back into the cup, but also doesn't really matter too much. So we are defeating this pirate here. Again, we are getting 1 damage and we are getting 2 goodies. So again, let's place that here. Let's not forget the damage marker. We are getting 1 more artifact right back. That's a blue and a yellow one, and we are getting 1 medal. The medal could be nice because we are getting another cadet at the start of the end of this round actually, and we can immediately promote him or specialize the cadet to, I don't know, blue, yellow or red ensign accordingly. Yeah, I think that wasn't too terrible. Again, ultimately it could be another victory point at the end of the game. Maybe we can spend those, but again, we are running out of space here quite obviously, and if we are taking damage and we have no storage units here, then we have to start dipping those things out or throwing those overboard. We are losing them through the damage. But okay, that was our action, our final action for this round. And Captain Shadow still has 2 more actions. So he is going to shoot something, but there is nothing to shoot nearby. So we are simply skipping over this. We have to pass and he will take his final action. We already know what this one is. And looking at the current technologies out there, I think we are going to repair this tech section here. Don't ask me why, but there is a way to make this connection here quite almost perfectly, let's put it like this. Okay, but this is really the end of the round. So I had passed, next the AI will pass. Again, everyone will move down here, and I think it's relatively suboptimal actually to use your commander your commander relatively last, because then you're making sure you're not getting him back. I think we get the commander back for the final round of the game, so that's at least something. But we will not be able to use the commander this round. But that's okay. As we are entering round 3, we get another cadet into our waiting or ready area. So that's definitely good. We are adding this AI card to the deck of AI cards, and then we would go into the 3rd round of the game. But I believe for today I will call it. Let me know if you want me to continue, but I believe you have pretty much seen most of the game so far. Again, some of the faction tracks. We haven't unlocked our tin can faction here up there, so we were not able to gain this technology, for example. But you should have a good idea of what this game has to offer. But then again, let me know if you want me to continue. And I'm pretty sure I should be able to complete my playthrough with a 2nd video or so. A huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members. And yeah, you guys are really amazing. Can't tell you how much I appreciate all your support. Also, huge shout out to some of my former patrons and channel members. I also really wish you all the best in the world. I'm thinking about one very specific person, not putting out any names, but I think she knows that I mean her. She's going through some tough times, it seems, so really do appreciate all your support as well, and all the best in the world. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.